investors. That's here from investments. Gonna do a little bit of a live stream today. Look at a couple coins, talk about a couple things, all crypto related. So let's get into this. Get my settings right. First thing we want to do is we want to thank our Patreons. So special thanks to these gentlemen over here. It seems to be a growing list, which is great to see, and I really appreciate the support. This is absolutely fantastic to see a couple of guys supporting here on Patreon. So link will be in the description if you're interested. Don't feel obligated though. I also want to give a shout out to the Discord. Make sure you join up on that. The link will be in the description on that. And let's get into some charts. Alright, let's do this. Let's do a little bit of this. Alright, apologize while I get this going here. Actually, I don't even know if it's going. There we go. Alright, let's get a little music and we're good. Resolution is not optimal. Well, that's great. Hopefully we're alright. We'll see. So first thing we're going to talk about is Ethereum, obviously. Being at an all-time high right now. Just absolutely crazy to see. And we have a couple, oops. Couple important lines we wanted to show here, so forget about these ones. But here we got some important lines here at $1,405. This is the all-time high previously in 2018, and you can see February it back tested this after this breakout, and it has pretty much held ever since then. So very nice to see. And I do think Ethereum is still undervalued. The only thing holding it back is probably the price of gas. Otherwise, it'd be more utilized, and I'm sure it would take more market share from Binance Coin. But very nice to see it breaking all-time highs. So what we're looking at, let's zoom on in, is we were seeing this kind of formation forming in a lot of these coins. Let me know if the music's too loud here. Where you are getting a nice little ascension here, rather consolidated, nice and flat, but it's just trucking along. So you're gonna see this pattern forming up on a lot of the altcoins, and what it's telling me is there's strength, there's growing strength showing up in these altcoins, and it is nice to see after that dip. So we're gonna look at a couple of them, and looking like nothing too important. Let's get into an hour real quick. Take a little good chart on this. So look at this. Disregard the wick. This hour close, previously resistance, is now showing as support, and it's played around in that level after that nice little break up to the upside and broke higher. So Ethereum's on the right, heading in the right direction right now. I've been saying for a while that it's undervalued, and we're probably going to see about $10,000 for Ethereum within this bull run. Is it going to happen tomorrow? No. There's going to be downside to it as well, but it's going to happen, I'm pretty sure, by the end of this bull run. So nice to see that going. Now, I wanted to... Let me go to that little pattern we're seeing, and I want to show how it's kind of appearing and everything. So we're going to go into Bitcoin, because I think this was also showing it. Now this is a little more, I guess steep would be the word. A little steeper. But we are getting a similar pattern here. And we're just building up higher on the smaller time frame. So what we were looking at with Bitcoin is we were looking at a broadening wedge. Now I'm not committed to this. This line isn't touching. But if this is the case, we are at the bottom of this range right now. And probably about halfway through it, so you got quite a bit to go before we start seeing the top and then come back down. Previously we had that purple line as support. It did not hold during that downside, but that's okay because we're above it now, and hopefully if it does another retest, it will show us support. We were looking at this the other day and we were saying that this was potentially the bottom and looked like it needed to do another test to the downside. Nothing too crazy. What did we go from 47 to 46.9? So about a couple $100 lower than it did previously. But I know this scared a lot of people. This is the perfect time to be buying. This is exactly when you want to be buying. So nice job there if you happen to pick anything up. But we are just showing strength all around. And obviously Bitcoin leads the market, so you always want to watch Bitcoin and see what it's doing. And obviously this nice little uptrend is going to be beneficial for these other coins. So I'm going to go through my standard list of coins that I'm looking at. If you got anything you want me to take a look at besides these, shout them out in the chat and I'll take a look at them. Oh, there's one I wanted to show you before we get into my standard list, was Hotcoin. I had this thing charted perfectly here. We had this nice falling wedge, and I previously had it drawn like this with a breakout, but it kind of broke to the downside, which is okay. It just meant that this is a bigger formation that I wasn't seeing, which is okay. So I redrew it, and I had this yesterday and I saw it break to the upside, but I wasn't in a position to buy anything, which is not great. No, audio is okay, and video, I'm getting little error messages saying my video is lagging here, so let me know if audio and video is okay. But anyways, I had this charted very beautifully. You know, we had a nice falling wedge, broke down a little bit right here, but that's to be expected when you get substantial sell-offs like that. That's okay. You just kind of think of it as an outlier and you continue on with your chart. But look at this important level that it hit. So this is previous resistance becomes support, still showing as support. So this is great to see, and this is at just under a penny. And from there, that was the bottom, and we broke above there, and I wanted to buy some right here, just wasn't in a position, and I think it went up like 18% after that. Jeez, wrong one. Let me get the right one here. Price range 36%. So yeah, I missed out on a 36% move. I was also looking at XRP, but we'll get into that one after that. And we're showing a nice little consolidation, potentially a little bit of a wedge there. Let's zoom in. Yeah, looks like it could continue on higher. So I like hot. It's got a lot of room to the upside, especially off that falling wedge. Very nice to see. And just kind of bummed I didn't pick any up. Let's look at XRP real quick. Similar setup. We were seeing a falling wedge, fell below it on that massive pump or dump, but that's okay. But we were looking at the lowest low of that and where it was lining up, and you can see previous resistance became support, and is holding as support. And then let's just out of curiosity see where this one lines up to. So we drew a line right here and support here. Oh, let's go over to this side. Previous resistance becomes support, and it's holding that support here. So we had a nice little break to the upside on this, and looks like it is doing very well. We're in the 30-minute, so rather flat right now. I don't really like that, but I do think that Bitcoin is going to push a lot of these higher with its moves. So I don't really like that formation, But I do like that it just broke out of there. So maybe a little bit of a pullback, maybe some downside before we see some upside. It's really anyone's guess with this. Rather flat though, not great. LTC is one we were also looking at because before the pullback, it was looking really juicy. And let's do a nice little support ski. Nice little support ski line. We got 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch. So this is still holding up and potentially, well, I mean, obviously seeing some upside still. So you had previous resistance here, showing up as support here, showing up as support here. Then that washout sale just broke us down below that. So not great to see that, but look at this. This is one of the only charts we actually have higher lows right after that. So this is not looking bad at all. And to be honest, you got that same little thing going on like we did in ETH. This is lagging ETH, and it has been the whole entire time in this bull market. So everyone's kind of been waiting for Litecoin to pop off. It's getting to the point. It's getting juicy here, and I think this is ready to go. So potentially, let's see what we got here. Low to high, or high to low, I mean. 618. So look at that, 618. Our next level is obviously the 618 at $286. So we need to break above that before we can even retest this at 334. However, if we still see strength in Bitcoin, could continue very easily here. So it will be nice to see. And I just messed up my screen, so that's all right. I'm gonna carry on, pretend like I didn't see that. And okay. There we go. Okay, so let's look at Dogecoin too, because that is an important one, as there is a lot of liquidity that is going to be leaving these trades, taking their profits, going elsewhere. I know one guy at work turned like 60 bucks into 600 bucks over the past year off this one, and he's pumped about it. It's not the greatest, but it's still something, and he's looking to sell it, get some other stuff. He's going to keep a little bit, but he's also going to sell a little bit, and I think that's going to be the case with a lot of people here. So I'm disregarding the wicks on this. We are on a 30-minute chart. Let's go to 1 hour at least. Now, I'm not committed to this line that I'm drawing, but potentially, if it does hold as support, it would be nice to see. We're playing at this important level here, which was previously support, but then broke down. And right now, it's just playing at that level. So we really want to see it at least get above it and show that it's support still, and then break above 30 cents again. I'm really surprised with Dogecoin that it's held on for so long. Like I never believed that Dogecoin would pump this hard and then retain its value. We're not really seeing much on that upside there. Alright, so you can't really chart much on Dogecoin, at least not that I see, so. I'm gonna leave that for tomorrow just to show. If this shows up as support, potentially we could see upside breakout. So, not committed to it, but I just want to show it as a possibility here. Fact, it is looking juicier and juicier as I draw it. the potential is there. All right. Now a couple of these other coins I had, it's just kind of keeping my eye on. Now Atom is one that I was looking at for a while because it is just playing in this range here, and it looks like it really wants to break out, but something is holding it back. Now I don't know about the fundamentals of this coin. It's possible that there's a lot of selling pressure at these levels. I don't know if it's the devs, if it's something fundamental like it's a staking coin and people are just taking profits, but these big wicks tell me there's someone taking massive profits right there, or selling out of something, and it just looks like it's ready to go, but something is holding it back. Like, you had this massive bull form up over 2 months, and I was thinking, oh, this might be a cup and handle forming up, but it just fell back down. April 17th, that was the Bitcoin dump. So a lot of these coins are starting to regain their previous positions before the massive dump. So this massive dump brought it from $27 to $17, and now we're at about $23. So you got a little bit of ways to go, but it could continue on and regain that. Let's see. I see there was nothing we were seeing on that. Let's see what else we had. Let's look at T-Fuel, obviously. Big theta shill, so we were seeing a relatively wide falling wedge. Not committed to it because it's a weird little formation. But I'd expect it to continue to play in this range. Shit, we're probably gonna see. We could potentially see an upside breakout on here with a little back test continuation. We are showing new support again. So this previous resistance became support, support broke down, but now is becoming support again. So might be done to the downside, but this tough to say. We're definitely seeing more strength, and right now it looks great. I'd like to see it break above this wedge, back test it, and continue on. And our next level we would need to see is 39, 47, and then a retest of 57. I do believe T-Fuel is going to get bought up like crazy before June, just due to the fact that the what is it called? Edge nodes and elite edge nodes are going to become a very lucrative investment for at least a month here, where people are going to be making at least $1,000 a month, you know, off 10,000 T-Fuel. I'm sorry, that's not accurate. Probably around 500. Rewards are set to multiply by about 58%, or 58 times, not 58%, 58 times. So it's going to become very lucrative to run a edge node, and especially an elite edge node. And if you're interested in the details for that, I could follow up with you. Let's see, nothing on the Discord. Just wanted to check in on the dudes here, see if anything was going on. I did reach out to them, see if they had any questions. Feel free to ask. So we're getting a couple beginners in there. So if you have beginner questions, it'd be great if I could answer them. The problem is that when you become so far removed from being a beginner, it's hard to think back to when you were a beginner. And you know, some of the questions I get is like, oh, do I need a hardware wallet? And it's like, well, man, at the beginning stage, you know, everyone preaches, oh, you need a hardware wallet, you need to take your keys off your exchange. If you don't got a lot of money in there, what is your risk? So you always got to think about your risk. Is it worth it? because there's always risk of you putting it into a hardware wallet and not being familiar with what you're doing and losing that money by transferring it or not writing down your passphrase or whatever. You know, there's risk. So in the beginning, I don't think it's absolutely necessary. That's all I'm trying to say. So if you got beginner questions, I'd love to hear them and love to get some answers out to you to help me out. Theta, we were seeing this wedge here, and we had a nice breakout. Problem was Bitcoin dumped on us and just absolutely wrecked anything that we were doing with it. But it was forming a nice falling wedge right after that. Shorter term, so it wasn't that strong, but we did see a nice breakout of it, and that's kind of what we'd want to see on T-Fuel. And we are showing some great strength right now. Let's zoom on in. So that pattern we were talking about before, showing up again. Nice little upward trend. We would like to see, let's draw some important levels here. Oops. We would like to see it break above 12.15 first. Then we are going to need 14-ish before going to 15.72. And that is taking us to the all-time high, so we are not far off of that. And then we were saying our next measure move brought us to $20, and that was off that breakout from this wedge here. Bitcoin kind of dumped on us to ruin that though. ICX we were watching because it had so much room to the upside previously. We had nice breakout following this nice little wedge. Again, Bitcoin kind of ruined it. Took away all those gains, brought us back down to $1.50, but we're quickly regaining all that now, so looks like it's continuing. And XLM, so again, this is a wedge I drew before the pattern even showed up, so I had this drawn back in February. And I just literally copied and pasted this and then kind of stretched it out over a longer time frame. Interesting to see that we had a beautiful breakout, beautiful back test of it, and then just continued on. And that's what you want to see. This right after that wedge, it's perfect. Obviously, Bitcoin took this with it. But we had a breakout to the upside. This is very steep, so it's hard to say it's a breakout to the upside, but you had a back test of it as well, and now showing support. So it's nice to see that all these coins are showing some massive support here. It's nothing you can really draw, but it is very good to see. So I expect this trend to kind of continue over the next couple days. And Mana was one that was showing strength even with the Bitcoin dip. And look at this previous support line that we had, and it is actually above it now. So Mana is probably one of the best looking ones. I would expect to see a back test of this for a further breakout, but it is showing some strength. And you had a nice higher low off of this, and it's looking juicy, dude. Looking juicy. Let's keep this trend line going. Yeah, Mana was just looking great. One of the Coinbase coins, so poised to continue higher. BTS, let's see, we had that beautiful cup and handle. A little messed up on this, little scuffed on the handle here. We had a nice back test to tell you, hey, we're going. Showed support at this point and then boom, 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 stair-stepped its way up higher. But the problem is that Bitcoin gave it all back, which wasn't great. However, we are showing strength now. Did have a lower low here, but it was a bullish divergence on the RSI. You had the lower low. I don't think I control. Oh yeah, there it is. You had the higher of the two lows right here, and this was actually the lower low. So you have a little bullish divergence showing up on the RSI on BitShares before this breakout, and it looks as though it is starting to stair step again. So we want to see this one get above 12 cents before continuing higher. So a breakout above 12, back test. Let's see if we got any important levels at this point, and we do. So I'm going to draw a little line here because this is showing up as support. As you can see, it's back testing this support line, and look at this resistance here, support all the way through here. So this is actually a pretty important line. Resistance here, this is a pretty important level. If this holds as at 12.5 cents, we're gonna be pushing these. Our next stop is literally 17 cents. So very nice to see here. BitShares looking good, but I've also been saying that for quite a while now, and hasn't made that drastic of a move. And I'll show you the reason why we were looking at BitShares particularly, because it's only 12 cents, and look at its all-time high, almost $1. So there is just a lot of upside potential, and it's one of those coins that hasn't moved a lot, unlike something like Dogecoin that's above all-time highs. So if you got any you want me to look at, leave it in the chat and I'll take a look at it. Energy, this is not a great chart. Let's get off hit BTC, that's our problem. Energy USDT, no, we'll just leave that one alone. XTZ, so again, this is the one with the nice cup and handle where it just formed up beautifully. Nice bowl here, nice handle, nice breakout with a back test and continuation to the upside. Then Bitcoin did its thing and we gave all of it back. It did not drop below this bowl bottom, so that's good to see. Showed strength at about halfway through it at about $4.17, and you can see this is resistance or support here, became resistance, became support, and it's just kind of playing in that level. Became support, and it's holding as support right now, so that is nice to see. Now let's zoom on in, see if we can find any support levels. Nothing too crazy, but we are starting to see that formation that's showing up in Ethereum and Bitcoin, where it's just going up at an angle, showing strength, slow and steady grind. So not bad to see. I'm gonna drop this down a little bit, show that it's showing support there, see where this lines up. So previous support here, previous resistance here, so important line. We would like to see this line at $5.22 hold as support. We would like to see this yellow line hold as support, and our next test would be at $5.81, followed by $6.42, followed by $7.75. So important levels, but we are trending in the right direction. Is Algo the one that we were talking about earlier? Okay, this is the one I wanted to talk about, Algo, because it had all these fake out breakouts. Now I want to show this one in particular that happened in the 7th of April, because this is the one that kind of got me convinced. You know, I actually had a position, I think, back here, but I got stopped out right here. And then I saw this fake out breakout, and I was like, I think that's more of a sign of things to come. So I actually picked up another position, and look at this. So this breakout brought us to almost that exact same level, which actually kind of corresponds with the all-time high, or at least the recent all-time high. I don't know if it's the all-time high, but then Bitcoin just brought it all the way down, and then we're starting to see another fake out breakout. So potentially we could see a nice little move to about $1.50 within the next couple days in algo. We are at an important level that was previously support, previously resistance, so I don't think it needs to back test this. Let's see if this lines up with anything. Look at that, previous support perfectly lined up here, previous resistance back here, previous support. So we're already back tested, ready to go higher. Next stop $1.50, followed by $1.80. Not bad, not bad at all. BAT, we had that beautiful support line for forever until Bitcoin brought us down below it. So that kind of scuffed up our chart right there. BAT, however, is showing strength like a lot of these alts are right now. Nothing that I can see on the chart. Some of these are hard to chart just due to the nature of what Bitcoin did to them. And then Tron. So I had a couple positions that I had in Tron where I've been getting kicked out and opening them back up, kicked out and opening them back up, and I want to be in it. It doesn't want me to be in it. I don't know what the deal is. So previous resistance at this level was where we hit for support, and it's held that, so that's significant. Nice to see. Seeing a nice little uptrend, but nothing too crazy. So we're just showing minimal support right now, so it's showing like it's changing in the right direction. You know, this support is showing up here, showing up as resistance back here. Continuations are all over here, so I like it. It's looking good to me. Looking like the market's doing rather well, especially as we probably will start to see more and more liquidity come off of Dogecoin and into some of these other cryptos. My concern is that we got a lot of weird, I don't know how to put this nicely. We got some weird people in Dogecoin right now. Some weird traders that haven't been in the market. So I don't know what to expect. That's all I'm saying. So anything could happen with Dogecoin. Ethereum Classic is one that's shown decent strength here, and I don't understand why. It's a dead coin, so I mean it's not dead, but it's whatever. Showing strength. Either way, it's a nice looking coin right now. Nothing on that. And the 3-year. Ooh, it's actually looking juicy. With a nice little back test too. Showing great support on Ethereum Classic. That's all I'll say. Alright, so is there any other coins you want me to take a look at? Otherwise, we will leave it at that. One thing I'm looking into is what they call Chia mining, and I think it's basically you stack up hard drives and you're sharing hard drive space. So I'm thinking if I could do this potentially on my Guardian node and Edge node PC, maybe I can allocate some of this. I don't know much about it, but I'm also looking into helium mining, and I do want to pull up a chart for helium. And for helium, you actually need a specific miner that you have to buy. Or HNT, USD. Okay, Binance. Probably the best I can do. And you can buy it on Binance USA. Perfect. Or sell it, potentially. $17 helium. There's a chart I never looked at. I just heard about helium mining, so I'm kind of getting interested in it. Pretty obvious down slope on that with a nice breakout. And this is what I keep talking about here. You see that breakout with that back test and then just takes off. So helium's actually showing support. I'm gonna add this to a list if I can here. Let's add it to the blue list just so we can keep our eye on it. Something I'm looking into is helium mining, so I just wanted to kind of take a look at that chart. You guys got any coins you want me to look at? Otherwise, we are going to call it. One of the gentlemen in the Discord posted this today, and these are dropping very quickly. 28,000% APR, 27,000% APR, which means if you took $1,000 times 4.0587, that was so $1,000 over a year in this would equal 294,000. Obviously that's not gonna sustain. Divided by 365 would be about $805 a day off $1,000. So you would make your money back almost overnight with this. Pretty crazy. And I don't know much about DeFi and the DeFi space. It all seems kind of wishy-washy to me, so I'm very skeptical, but I know people that are making money off of it. Weird to see. Alright. Well, that's all I got, unless everyone's got any coins, and I don't see anything in the chat. So until next time, later.